Well, we have just a little bit of hardware here. This is all getting ready to install the joist hangers that will be going onto our beam. And all of that is all prepped and ready. We are missing a couple pieces. We're missing, I guess, top plates for the columns. That's what I thought these were, but I guess they're not. Devin's up on the roof shingling still, so the air compressor's running. But that runs very little, so it doesn't really bother too many people. We had planned on working pretty much exclusively on the beam these 2 days. I took 2 days off from work. Actually, they weren't whole days because I had to work till about 10 o'clock a.m. each morning. And what you're looking at here is a forest of 2x4s that are acting as two temporary walls holding up two roofs. If you'll notice, what's missing in the middle is the beam and the wall that was part of the original house. This wall that was here was part of the 1930s part of the house. Where it ended was right in between these two trees. Forest of trees. 2x4s standing up. So in between these two forests, you can see where the original beam was. And it was, I don't know what those are, but maybe 2x8s, 2x10s. Rough cut, two of them. That was the original beam, the back end of the house. And then they scabbed on and added on the second, this went up to the second story roof line. And down here is a pile of the beam that we cut out. It's not all of it. Some of it's around the corner here and got thrown away. But the room is now opened up, and you can see the two beams that are going up in there. They're 14 inches or 16 inches deep. I can't remember exactly. Those are going to go right up on the end of those floor joists that are hanging out there. You can see them right there. There's the end of one of the floor joists. There's the end of another floor joist. And it's going to go right along those. It's going to be right up flush with them. So they're going to be sitting in line with it. And all that hardware, those joist hangers that I showed you, will be connecting them to this beam once it's stood up vertically in its home. And then it will be supported by a pier that will be going right down through here, through this hole in the floor, down to the cement pad that we poured down below there. Then there will be another one that will come down through here, and here you can see part of the 1980s addition that they did. This was the other beam that they put on top of the other beam that was sitting there and carried that across. And that's the time when they lowered these ceilings down to where you can see the green paint. And we're going to bring them right back up to where they belong. And this ceiling's going to come right straight across, continue right through basically that beam and carry out flat into this other angled roof that comes down here. So it'll continue out that way for probably 5 or 6 feet, and then we'll slope off to the other wall. The other thing we got done is we put in a new beam to carry across here. We put all these things on joist hangers. I hate to show you what they did. It was terrible as far as the support goes, and I'll just kind of give you a hint as to how they did it. This is a 2x8, 2x6 I mean, two of them, and then they cut into it to set the rafter on. So effectively you've got 2 inches, maybe a 2x2 holding that up. Same thing here. And then all practical purposes, this one is sitting on top of the window frame. So the window frame is holding this one up. And if I come back here a little bit, you can actually see how the window frame has bowed down. So we don't know quite how we're going to fix this, but my feeling is take the damn window out, put a proper header in, and then put the window back in. It'll be a little lower, but at least it'll be supported properly. So that's what we got done down here. We moved this wall, as I said, out 3.5 inches to make room for the kitchen, make room for the beam, because there is another beam post going right down through that piece of plywood in the floor to the cement beam, the cement pad we poured, and then there's another one that's going down through here all the way down to another cement pad we poured. We were told by the engineers that if we put it on top of the foundation wall, that with a snow load on it, it would just crush the foundation and we would have foundation issues. And that's the reason why we poured a new pads, and they're going to be on posts. So this is our 2 days worth of work demo, and in addition to that, we had the lift, which Devin has really enjoyed using. It's made his life a lot easier. In addition to that, we got quite a bit of work done upstairs for all practical purposes. All the big stuff is done up here. I got that window framed out, not framed out, but tore out, ready to be have a new window put in. I got to put a couple pieces of board in there, so there's the new window. The old window was just one pane, one square of that, so about half the size of that. So that will be let a lot of good light into this bathroom. And this wall has the window in it. We did take the frames, the glass out of it. We set them over there because Devin was out there with a bucket, and I was just afraid of him running that bucket into the window and breaking the window. And we got that window finished. I just gotta insulate around it, add another board down here because I messed that up. And they got a lot of stuff to pick up out here. That was the last 2 or 3 rows on the roof that we just didn't feel comfortable getting with the jacks, stands, and it was just way up there, so the lift made a big difference. So we got to clean up all this mess, and we got a lot done in 2 days. Hi, Devin.